So I want to go back to the music. Sweety G. Um, how did you get into house music?
So that's amazing, right? So at the time, I was looking at a lot of my contemporaries. I saw that I wasn't going to have the massive hit. I didn't want to go the route where most of my friends were that were rappers. I was more interested in business. I was more interested in enterprise, but I had still a love for music. So I didn't want to play a guitar and be in R&B or rock. So house music was there, but most of the dance music was maybe alternative state. It was a different kind of community, maybe. So I saw people like the New York City Beach Boys. I saw people like Colonel Abrams, D Train. So I saw a place where a guy that was R&B oriented, still with an edge, and I thought I could fit in that space because it was typically a different type of audience, right? And I didn't
Hmm.
fit in that audience. I didn't go to the type of clubs that audience would be. My demographic was different, so I brought this R&B swag, soul. I was able to play the music, so I was a musician, a producer, a writer, a remixer, and I was singing as a rapper, so it was an easy transition, and it was the closest thing I could do that was still thugged out, still kind of street, and I still kept my rep, and I didn't have to worry about going into cultures that didn't match my ideology.
Okay. How was that perceived by your peers, by your Stetsasonics and Run DMCs and Cold Crush and Boogie Boys and all of them?
Well, it wasn't a problem because there was no transition. I was still always a brother, a black man that came from urban community, heterosexual male, straight, coming from everything from gangster background, drug dealing, what it was like. I took my whole life. It was just a different music form. My music was still very aggressive, very spirited, and completely, I was for the ladies. So there was a space for me. There was a space. So I would play Paradise Garage on a Friday night. That was the night, it was a straight night. So I had homeboys, hip hop cats coming in to see me. So I would change the landscape. If I played on other nights, then I was bringing in a straight audience to some of the other clubs that were a mixed kind of audience. And then that didn't define me as a natural black brother who is heterosexual that's
Hmm.
doing this music for music. I wasn't even thinking about white, black, gay, straight, Hispanic. I just saw it as one way to tell a different story, and it gave me a more broad scope to talk, from strings, keyboard playing. I could play music that had a Latin or percussive kind of vibe to it. I could do Afro house before it was that. I could sing, and I was confident in who I was. So it was a pure way for me to do the same thing, still being rooted in hip hop and still being rooted in urban culture.